Welcome, learners. Course is of composite manufacturing technique, and under this course, module is of introduction to composite. Now we are discussing on lecture number 1. I am Dr. Vipin Sharma, Associate Professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. So, the first slide is introduction to composite. The idea of a composite material is not a new or a recent one. The composites are the class of material that evolved with the existence of nature. Nature is full of examples wherein the idea of composite material is used. The nature provides material in the form of composite such as wood or bone. You can see here the structure of bone is indicated in the figure. You can see that there is a arrangement of collagen and apatite for bone, and this is the microstructure of neck area, and this is of the foot. Wood is a fibrous composite made up of cellulose fiber and lignin matrix. The cellulose fiber have high tensile strength but are very flexible, that is having low stiffness, while the lignin matrix join the fiber and furnishes the stiffness. Bone is yet another example of natural composite that supports the weight of various members of the body. It consists of soft collagen fiber embedded in a mineral matrix called apatite. There are many more examples like carbon black in rubber, Portland cement, fiberglass in resins are some more examples. Thus, we can see that the idea of composite material is not that recent. Boeing 787 has composites in the fuselage, windows, wings, tails, stabilizer, etc., resulting in 50% in composites by weight. Besides the large-scale application in the aerospace industry, there has been impressive development in other fields such as automotive, sporting goods, wear resistance material, and structural material, etc. Now we come to the definition of the composite. So, composites is a macro level mixture of two or more materials with continuous phase while retaining their individual identities, and which provides superior properties as compared to individual properties of constituent elements. Metal alloys are also mixing of two or more metallic materials, but at a micro level, and constituent materials cannot be easily distinguished. For example, brass is an alloy of copper and zinc, but neither copper nor zinc can be separately identified in the brass. So alloys are different from composite materials. So don't mess up with composites and alloys. They are different things. To understand this definition of composite material, we have to understand some important terms. Firstly, macro level. What is macro level? Because macro level is used. And the macro level means that you can see the elements by your naked eye. You don't need any microscope or some sophisticated instruments. Second term is to retaining their individual identities. The retaining of individual identities means the constituent element remains the same as at the time of mixing. For example, sand or gravel remains the same in the concrete mixture and can be easily distinguished. Similarly, in road making, the gravel and asphalts have their identities retained. Next term is continuous interface. The continuous interface means one element having continuous presence without a break. For example, in concrete mixture, the cement is continuously present and sand or gravel are embedded in it. The last term is superior properties. This can be understood by a very simple example of village clay houses made by a mixture of clay and wheat straw. Now, what is the strength of straw? It can be easily blown out at normal wind speed and can be broken by hands without any efforts. But when it combines with clay, it protects the mud house from early cracking. If wheat straw is not used, then mud house will collapse in a month due to extensive cracking. So the properties of clay and wheat straw composite structure is far superior as compared to clay or wheat straw. In conclusion, some points are to be remembered before considering a material as a composite material. So basically there are 3 points which we have to be considered. Number 1, it is manufactured. So if it is manufactured, then naturally occurring composites like wood or bones are to be excluded. Second point is it consists of 2 or more physically or chemically distinct, suitably arranged or distributed phase with an interface separating them. Third point is it has a characteristics that are not depicted by any of the components in isolation. So these are the 3 basic points which we have to consider for a material to be called as a composite. Now we come to the matrix and reinforcement. So what is the matrix and reinforcement? Because these are the 2 important constituents of a composite material. So the matrix is the continuous phase material into which reinforcement are distributed or embedded. The continuous phase means that there is no break in the continuity of the material. Let's assume if matrix is a conducting material and when current is passed from one end of the matrix, then it can be received at other end due to the continuity of the matrix. The main function of the matrix is to find reinforcement, take the load and transfer it to the reinforcement, provide net shape and surface quality. Commonly used composite matrix can be of metal, polymer and ceramics. On the basis of matrix, the composites can be classified as metal matrix composites, MMC in short, polymer composites, PMCs and ceramic matrix composites. Whereas reinforcements can be of fiber, viscous or particles. In composites, the reinforcement provide the strength to the composites. Apart from providing strength, they also improve other mechanical and physical properties. You can see in figure a black carbon fiber used as a reinforcement was compared with the human hair, and you can see that how what is the dimension of the carbon fiber as compared to the